Welcome back to the Network Marketing Cowboy channel. And today, this is a big one. We're going to talk about something that's on the mind of almost everyone who starts a business and gets into real estate. How do I quit my 9 to 5 and go full time? If you're like most people, you've got a job that pays the bills, but you know deep down that you're made for more. You have the drive. You want something more. You want freedom, time with the family, flexibility, the ability to build your own future. That's what we're going to be talking about today. In this video, I'll walk you through a few things. The 5 financial milestones you must hit before quitting your job. We're going to talk about how to structure your exit strategy so you don't panic later. How to transition into full-time entrepreneur mode without burning out. And one of the biggest ones, the mindset shifts required to win without a paycheck. And stick with me until the end. I'll show you a simple timeline to go full-time within 16 to 18 months, depending on your current situation. So why you shouldn't just quit cold turkey. Okay, let's start with this. Don't quit out of motion, quit with intention. Most people make these mistakes. Quitting too early with no backup income. Overestimating how fast their business will grow. Underestimating expenses or stress. The goal isn't just to quit your job, it's to quit and never go back. You want to build confidence through cash flow, so that when you make that leap, it feels like you're walking, not jumping. All right. The 5 financial milestones you have to hit before quitting, okay? 1, have 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved, okay? This is key. You need an emergency fund. You need to have that for freedom and peace of mind. It's your runway to launch your business full time. Because if you don't have those expenses saved to do this stuff, you might get down into where you're forced to go back and start working another job, okay? The second thing is consistently earning at least 75% of your job income. So when you start to do your business, from network marketing business or your rental income, make sure you have, that 75%, and make sure it's consistent for 3 to 6 months before you're looking at it. Because one thing you don't want, you just get up, hit 75% one month. Oh, I can quit now. And then the next month you don't have that volume still carrying you up over. So it's very critical that you have that steady flow of income coming in, that you can hit these things, because you're going to have to cut some expenses to make sure you're going to be there, to make sure you succeed when you're trying to do that. Your livelihood will probably have to change a little bit. You're going to have to get lean. You're going to have to get mean to make sure you're doing all that. The next thing you have to do is you have to have a reinvestment plan. Okay, know how much to reinvest into your systems, into your real estate, into your team growth, into ads. You have income generating activities built into your calendar also, okay? This is key. So when you're going out on your own, you might be quitting a 9 to 5 job, but entrepreneurs are going to have to, especially starting out, going to have to make sure they're putting in probably more than just the 9 to 5 that you was doing. But this is going to build your freedom later on. The fourth thing, you've created the leverage. You're not doing everything yourself anymore. This is having your teams, your downline, having your teams on real estate, because you need to have these people to be able to find these deals for you or to help build things. With your downline, you need to have them out there building their teams. You're the leader of these teams. You've built systems, you have the automation, you've set up systems that's easily duplicatable. These you make sure you have in place before you ever try to quit your 9 to 5 job. And you have a clear growth path. You know your next income goal, okay? You know, like, hey, I've hit the 75%, now I want to make sure I get to 100%. Then I want to be here to here. These are key things that you know that you're going to have out there. You know, you've mapped out how to scale. Increasing team size, adding more rentals, scale ad spending. You need to make sure you have this all set out, okay? These 5 milestones aren't just checkpoints. They're proof that your business is ready to carry you, okay? So when you go through all these things, make sure that you're hitting these things all spot on, because if you're not, you could fall back into have to go back to a job. And that's the last thing we want anybody to do when they're coming out to be an entrepreneur, is go back to being a 9-to-5 job when they made that leap once. So keep that in the back of your mind. So the third part is how to structure a smooth transition. Okay. Step 1, create a 6 to 18 month exit plan. Choose your ideal quit date. Break down what needs to be true financially and logistically by then. Okay. So you know what exactly you have to have done. Track your weekly progress. You know, so if you set these timelines out, okay, and you want to get to that 75% and you had it for 3 or 6 months, you know what you're going to have to do. You know, you're breaking it down. You know what you have to do per week, okay? Step 2, block part-time hours just like they were for full-time, okay? If you say you'll build your business full-time later, prove it now by doing it part-time, okay? So block out 10 to 15 hours a week and protect it like your life depends on it, okay? So like when you said you had to go to work, you had to be there at 9, you can't get out at 5, well, you still need to do that with your part-time. I'm not going to let anything distract me. I'm going to do these things now. So you make sure you're hitting these dates that you're projecting out there. All right. Step 3, systemize before you leave your job. Build content in batches. Automate lead follow-ups. Train your leaders to be self-efficient. Okay. Don't wait until you have an extra 40 hours. Build the systems now so those hours are leveraged and not wasted. Okay, these are really key. Then the next thing, the mindset shift from employee to entrepreneur. Okay, quitting your job isn't just a career move, it's an identity shift. Okay, from security to responsibility. You're not waiting on a paycheck. You're creating one now. You are your own boss now, okay? There's a lot of great books that you need to start reading on how to shift your mindset, okay? From being an employee to being, your own. One of the first ones I would look at is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Another one is like a business novel that is by Kenny McElroy, my good friend and mentor, about the return to Orchard Canyon. Great books of kind of getting your mindset to shift. Okay, you also need to go from schedule and field to self-directed. Okay, so you're not working on a schedule all the time. You need to make sure you're not having someone tells you what to do anymore. You have to create your structure. You have to create chaos into that stuff. What are you going to be doing? Okay, so these are all the things you have to also think about. From income earner to asset builder. You are not just working for income anymore. You're building assets that outlive you. So there's plenty of books to really help shift your mindset. Okay. Going Pro, if you're into network marketing, by Eric Worre. That's a must, okay? In real estate, there's tremendous amount of education out there. All the Rich Dad, Poor Dad books with Kenny McElroy, the ABCs of investing, the property management. They have such a great breadth of books out there that can help you shift your mindset. And you have to do a lot of self-educating when you're making these shifts, because you're not going to have the backup of a company helping you out. You're the boss, you're the leader, you're the driving force into your own life now. And before you make that jump, you have to have that mindset that, yes, I'm going to do this, because without it, it's going to be very hard. It's going to be a rough road, and you'll be bucked off. Not saying you're not going to be bucked off a few times doing this yourself, but you're going to have the ability to get back up on that horse and not let that deter you, instead of being bucked off once and saying, I'm never getting back up on that horse. I had to get back up on every single horse that's ever thrown me off in my whole life. My parents made me, even when I was a little kid, probably the first time I got bucked off a horse, I was probably 8 years old. My dad says, get back on him. And I did that all the way through. How many horses I broke, I can't remember. I've gotten thrown off a bunch. I got right back up on them. Never let that deter me. Okay. So you need to make sure you're really focused on this. This shift isn't always easy, but it's 100% worth it when your time becomes yours again. Okay. So here's a pro tip. Treat your first 90 days as full-time, like an apprenticeship. Okay. Go hard on income producing activities, team development, and scaling. Okay. No Netflix marathons. This is your freedom you're building. Okay. So make sure you go hard at this. Come out the gates. We have a thing in our network marketing companies, by being director in 90 days, they have it all mapped out. Because as soon as you come out hard and you can accomplish these things in 90 days, it just gives you even that more confidence and trust that you can do this. So whatever you're doing, you want to, build your team, you have to put that same stuff out there. Put these expectations out there. 90 days, you want to be here on this stuff, because it will help you tremendously of shifting your mindset. So the 6 to 18 month full-time blueprint. Here's a simple timeline to help you with your journey. Okay, this may or may not work for you, but I think it's a good overall blueprint for you, so you guys can adjust it as you need to. So month 1 to 3, lay down the foundation. Choose your strategy. Is it starting out with network marketing to invest in real estate? Is it real estate and substitute some with network marketing, or both? Get it. If you have capital to start investing in real estate, do it. If you need capital to invest in real estate, get started with network marketing now. Okay. It will not help you say, I'm going to wait later, because it needs time to build. You need time to build your teams to get to that level where it's starting to do it. The sooner you do it, the faster you're going to start making that money. Okay. So build your daily mode of operation, your DMO. What are you going to do every day? Have that done. Start tracking your incomes, your leads, your expenses. This is all the foundation stuff that you have to do in the first 3 months, and have these systems down to a T. Okay. These are the most critical things. So the month 4 to 9, build some more systems and scale income. So this is where you start really building your team and your portfolio. You create content constantly. You start launching automated systems and funnels to help drive you more traffic. You reinvest intelligently into systems, into ads and stuff like that. So you need to make sure you're really paying attention to that stuff. Then month 10 to 18, you start hitting milestones and executing your exit plan. Income should be consistent and growing. You have your emergency fund in place. And your calendar and business systems are optimized. Okay. Some people quit faster. Others take a year or more. The timeline doesn't matter. It's the freedom that comes with it what does matter, okay? So some people might just have a knack of jumping in and start doing these things. But I'm telling you right now, every single one of you has this ability in you to become an entrepreneur. You don't have to rely on somebody else's paycheck and wondering if you're ever going to be fired again. Create your own business. I know you guys can do this stuff. So quitting your job isn't about running from something. It's about stepping into something greater. Ownership of your time, income, and life. Of having that freedom. So drop a comment below. Are you planning to go full time? What's your target quit date? Let me know. I'd love to know and see what I can do to help you. Which of the 5 financial milestones do you still need to hit? Let me know. Remember, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Go to the Network Marketing Cowboy channel. Let me know on this stuff. I'm always putting out content on Saturday. These longer videos. You have my Cowboy Code Tuesday editions on Tuesday. If this series inspired you, stick around. I've got more coming your way. We'll be diving into advanced scaling and mentorship and how to turn your brand into a movement coming soon. Okay. Remember me. Remember to follow me on social media at the Rocky McKay on Facebook and on Instagram. Okay. Last thing, you were never meant to just work. You were meant to build and grow and lead. This is your time, people. Go claim it. God bless you.